Somebody came to me this week and said that they've had a very close relationship with Allah since childhood, and that they've made dua to Allah from a very early age, praying tahajjud, even when they were a teenager. Whenever they asked Allah for something, Allah provided. This person actually had a pretty tough life. Father passed away at an early age, no brothers, and this woman has lived a pretty lonely life and basically decided to really truly depend on Allah. She found that Allah miraculously answers her prayers. Every time she asks Allah for something, Allah has never left her prayer unanswered. So she developed this reliance and this closeness with Allah and would always turn back to Allah. It's a really beautiful connection she had with Allah. But where did the question come from? The question came from a fact that more recently she went through quite a series of very unexpected difficulties in life. And she decided that she's going to increase her ibadah to Allah and increase her du'as because her problems have also increased. And so she does that, and she prays like she's never prayed before, fasts like she's never fasted before, begs Allah, cries to Allah, sheds tears before Allah like she's never done before. But the problems keep getting worse. They don't get any better. And she starts thinking to herself, maybe Allah is not happy with me, because before I used to pray and everything used to get answered. I've never had this problem before. Every time I had a need, I turned back to Allah and Allah solved my problem. But now I'm making dua after dua after dua, and I continue to beg Allah, and my problems are not getting solved, they're only getting worse. What could possibly be the reason? And in her mind, the reason was, I must have done something wrong. Allah must no longer be answering my prayers because somehow I've been disqualified. I'm not in Allah's good books anymore. This is a very common notion that can creep into somebody's mind. There are two kinds of du'as basically for most of us. I'm talking about the ones we make for ourselves. One kind of du'a is we want a problem that we have right now to be solved. We have an issue, we have some circumstance, and we want Allah Azza wa Jal to protect us from falling into a worse problem, to secure the good things that we have, etc. And of course we make du'a for our future. We make du'a for ourselves, our children, and to take care of things in the future. Ya Allah, things are good right now, Ya Allah, keep them this way. Preserve what we have here. These are the kinds of du'as that we make for ourselves. Quick reminder to all of you. Your du'a getting answered immediately or not getting answered immediately has nothing to do with whether or not Allah is happy with you. There's no connection between those two things. And even if there was a connection, you will never know. You cannot guess. You have the case of Nouman alayhi salam. He made da'wah, he invited his people to Islam. Someone who cares so much about his nation, they spit on him, they insult him, and he goes back to them and makes dua for them. 950 years. You think he ignored his own son, his own wife? All those years of dua, and they didn't change. Isn't that the case? Does he blame himself? Yeah, maybe I didn't do something right. Or maybe Allah stopped listening to me. The reason I'm starting with that is people that were much better than we are, much better than we are, they also had similar problems. So you're not the first one to be put in that position.